Last time we met your greatest enemy, the investor staring back at you in the mirror. We named 3 of his weapons: loss aversion, the herd, and overconfidence. But your brain keeps a much larger arsenal, and today we open the rest of it. These are the quiet biases that cost you money year after year without you ever noticing the bill. Once you can name them, you can finally start to disarm them. Let's begin with anchoring. Your mind hates uncertainty, so it grabs the first number it sees and treats it as the truth. You bought a stock at $100, and now that price is burned into your brain forever. If it falls to 70, you feel robbed of $30, and you refuse to sell, waiting for it to come back to your anchor. But the market does not know or care what you paid. The stock is worth what it is worth today, and your purchase price is just a number from your own past. Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky, the same 2 psychologists from last episode, showed this with a simple experiment. They spun a wheel of fortune, rigged to land on 10 or 65, and then asked people an unrelated question about Africa. The group that saw the higher number gave much higher answers, even though the wheel was obviously random. A meaningless number had silently anchored their thinking. Now imagine how powerfully your own by price anchors yours. Next comes confirmation bias. Once you believe something, your brain becomes a lawyer defending that belief, not a scientist testing it. You buy a company because you love it, and suddenly you only notice the good news. You read the bullish articles, follow the cheerful voices, and quietly scroll past every warning sign. Your research stops being a search for the truth and becomes a hunt for applause. The cure is uncomfortable but simple. Go looking for the strongest argument against your own position, on purpose. Then there is recency bias, the belief that whatever just happened will keep happening. After a long bull market, everyone feels like a genius and assumes prices only ever rise. After a crash, the same people swear the market is broken and will never recover. We give enormous weight to the recent past and almost none to the long sweep of history. But markets move in cycles, and a mood that feels permanent today is usually the one about to reverse. Now we'll meet the most expensive trap of all, the sunk cost fallacy. A sunk cost is money already spent that you can never get back. Logic says to ignore it completely and only ask what is the smart move from here. But your brain cannot let go, so it throws good money after bad. You hold a failing stock, or even buy more, not because you believe in it, but simply because you have already lost so much. You're no longer investing. You're trying to justify the past. The third psychologist for today is Richard Thaler, who won the Nobel Prize in 2017 for connecting these mistakes into a whole field. One of his ideas is the endowment effect, our strange habit of valuing something more once we own it. In one experiment, people given a simple coffee mug demanded about twice as much to sell it as others were willing to pay to buy it. The mug had not changed, only who owned it. That same feeling makes you cling to a stock just because it is yours. Put a few of these together and you get the disposition effect, one of the best documented patterns in all of investing. It is the powerful urge to sell your winners far too early and hold your losers far too long. Selling a winner feels great. You lock in a victory and feed your pride. Selling a loser feels like admitting you were wrong, so you refuse, and the weed keeps growing while the flower is gone. Is loss aversion and anchoring in sunk cost all working together against you? So what actually beats a brain that is wired to sabotage you in so many directions at once? You cannot outthink these biases in the heat of the moment, because in the moment they do not feel like biases, they feel like common sense. The answer is the same one this series keeps returning to. You make your decisions in advance, in writing, while you're calm. You build a checklist and a set of pre-commitment rules before a single dollar is on the line. Your rules can be beautifully simple. Decide in advance how much you will invest, into what, and on which day of the month. Write down before you buy the reason you are buying and the conditions under which you would sell. Then when fear or greed comes knocking, you do not argue with them. You just follow the page. This is exactly why a boring automatic investment into a broad index fund quietly beats so many clever active traders. The index does not anchor, does not seek applause, and never falls in love with a coffee mug. So these are the biases that cost you money: anchoring, confirmation bias, recency bias, sunk cost, the endowment effect, and the disposition effect they create together. You will never delete them because they are part of being human. But you can name them, write your rules before the storm, and let the calm version of you overrule the panicked one. I will see you in the next one, where we start building your first real portfolio. Until then, keep it simple and never let yesterday's price decide today's move.